Hey everybody, how's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you can hear me. This is kind of a spur of the moment live. I did not plan on going live tonight despite Tisha's hearing today, but here I am because I got several messages and tagged in a couple posts, so I thought I'd come on and say hi and go over what happened in court today. It's good to see you all here. Hey T, hi Tanya. Hi Ari. Aw, you've missed me, Tisha. Yeah, I don't really come on when there's not really anything going on. I don't want to come on and just talk gossip and rumors and all of that. And right now things are kind of at a standstill besides the one court hearing today. Gannon is still missing. He still needs to be found. Authorities are not giving us public updates on any searches that are going on or asking for any help for searching, which is really odd to me. I'm not sure what I think of that. I think a couple different things. But again, just my own personal thoughts. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. It could be that they know where to look, or I don't know. They don't know where to look. I'm not sure. What's everyone's thoughts on that? They've been really quiet about any searches in regards to recovering Gannon at this point. And unfortunately, sorry, I have to silence my phone. I forgot to do that. Unfortunately, we know from the criminal charges against Letitia Stauch that at this point, this is a recovery mission. This isn't a rescue. So they are looking to recover Gannon's body. Hi, Demita. Hey, Raquel. Hi, One Wild Ride. Hey, Manda. Hi, Trina. Hi, What the Heck. Hi, Jill. Hi, Angie Clark and Tanya Baker. Hi, Dee. Hi, Amanda. Hey, Jason. Anyways, if I didn't say hi to you, hi, Glowing Ember. Hi, Ari. Hi to everybody down in the chat. I can't get through all your names. Amy's down there. Hey. Hi, Donnie Color. So, who watched Tisha's arraignment today? Thank you, Tree Baby. Did you guys all watch it? It was pretty quick. It was less than, I want to say, 20 minutes long? Less than that, about 18 minutes long. You watched it, Kelly girl? Good. One Wild Ride, you watched it? Darwin watched it. Glowing Ember watched it. What'd you guys think? I watched it again just before coming on here to make sure that I had everything correct. I noticed a few things. What was that you said, Donnie, that if looks could kill, Landon would have blew her away? Yeah, Landon was very, you could tell, that was very hard for her to sit there in the courtroom. Hey, Doodlebug. Tisha looked a little bit different today, didn't she? She looked a little more scared, less smug, a little bit more somber, not as arrogant. She looked like she was fearful, and she should be. She should be. Madame Deficit said she looked like a Manson girl to me, kind of dead inside. Yeah, she definitely looked hollow and like Tanya Baker said reality is setting in. I think so. I think it is. She looks like Momo. That's funny. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It truly is a lot to take in. I would love to hear like a behavior expert weigh in on this and what they think just by her looks and her expressions and how she was in court today. She looked different than she has looked in the past couple weeks. Some things that were noticeable were she was in a neon yellow jumpsuit, but an inside source has shared with me that does not mean that she's not on suicide watch. It's just that for different reasons, she won't be brought into the courtroom in a turtle suit. So when she went back to jail today, she would have been put back into her suit and back into her holding cell where she's monitored 24/7 with the camera. Eyes are on her at all times. She did look beaten down, Tisha. She needs to be. I just, she needs to crack, but I'm not sure what goes through her head. I'm not sure if she will crack, if she will talk, if she will, I don't know. Yeah, Donnie Color, the officer was mean mugging her. And did you notice her handcuffs were extremely tight on her wrist? She wasn't slipping out of those bad boys today, was she? So, the courtroom was filled. It looked like there really wasn't an extra seat in there, and there was a lot of blue. A lot of the attendants in court were wearing blue. The officer was within arm's reach, yes. Yeah, Becca, I didn't get to see his interview. I haven't watched his interview yet. I've had a busy evening, but I look forward to watching it. So the DA said he is taking this to trial, no deals. They must have very good evidence. It's interesting because they had a lot to say, even though it was a short, hi, Yvette, even though it was a short arraignment, there was a lot said. One of the things that was said by the district attorney was that the investigation is still going on to 1 degree. Those were his exact words. And when I think of that, all I can think is the one thing remaining is they're still looking for Gannon. They said there was a voluminous discovery, over 1,000 pages of discovery, including video evidence, cell phone data. What else was there? The defense requested copies of the search warrants. As of last week, there were 107 search warrants issued in this case. That is a lot of search warrants, a ton. And the DA actually said that he expected that number is a little higher because the 107 was last week and there's still ongoing stuff going on this week. So another interesting thing that they said is that some of those search warrants are in South Carolina. All of the search warrants that were filed within the state of Colorado were filed with motions to seal. The exception to that is South Carolina. The South Carolina search warrants are not sealed. There's still currently ongoing forensic testing. The probable cause affidavit, also known as the PC affidavit, is going to be released to the defense through email instead of in discovery. I believe it's also going to be released to the public. They did speak about significant redactions on it. The state had no objection to unsealing that affidavit as long as the affidavit is redacted, or in regards to birth dates, phone numbers, different things that could be damaging to, you know, somebody's identity being stolen by releasing that information. There is another status conference on April 14th at 3 p.m., and that is for the number of warrants, what kind of warrants, and where they were issued. They are all search warrants, but they could be different types of search warrants. They could be wiretaps. They could be surveillance. There's so many different avenues that those can go, and that will actually not be covered by the media. Due to Colorado statutes and Colorado laws, there is zero expanded media coverage allowed during that status conference. The judge also went on to say that media access will not be granted for expanded media coverage for any pretrials. The exception to part of this is that arraignments do not fall in that Colorado penal code. So the media was able to be there today. So in the future, do not expect to see many live feeds from that courtroom. It will probably be different when it goes to trial. I would imagine that this will go to trial. I have no doubts it will, and that it probably will be aired, whether it's aired on local TV or court TV or Law and Crime Network. I'm sure that the trial will be aired. What else was there? When the search warrants are released, they will not be released to the public, only to the defense. And I think that about sums it up. I do still have to watch the DA's press conference. I haven't watched that, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. I heard it was a good it's Becca, it's just the pretrials. It's just the pretrials that are excluded from in the status conferences. Those are excluded from expanded media coverage. So they're not going to be able to have cameras in the courtroom. Hey, Tracy L. Hi, Mignon. I think somebody down here said that we did. DD Munster, you said we deserve to see. Well, I mean, you have to look at it both ways. The public does want to know. The public does have a right to know, and we will know everything at some point. But at this time, Tisha is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, no matter what I think or you think or the next person thinks. She still is presumed innocent under the United States judicial system. And by not televising that, they really are protecting the integrity of a prosecution. They don't want to taint a jury. You don't want that. You definitely want to keep a lot of things under the radar when you're looking at such a high profile case and such a just completely devastating case. You're talking about an 11-year-old murder victim, and the prosecution wants to secure a conviction, and the defense wants to give the best defense that they can give. And the best way to do that is to keep it out of the public's eyes before it goes to trial. Tanya Baker, how are they even going to get a jury? Well, believe it or not, I don't think they'll have a problem getting a jury. El Paso County is a fairly large county. And if they can't seat a jury, which I doubt that will happen, believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there who have no problem sitting on a jury and being completely objective and just basing their verdict on what is presented to them. In the chance that they cannot seat a jury, then there will be a motion to file a change of venue to move her to a different county. I don't think that will happen. Aw, that's so sweet, Becca. I just saw it, Raquel. I just saw it. I can try to play the audio over my mic if you guys want. We can listen to the DA together. Yeah, Landon's face, she's very sad. Her aunt was there with her. Al was there with her. You couldn't really see Al. He was positioned more behind the podium. So, yeah, it's really, really sad. All of it's just, it's all for what, you know? For what? Nothing. There's absolutely nothing accomplished. I'll never understand these types of things. It's hard to wrap your head around how anybody can hurt a child, let alone hurt a child and think they can get away with it. And then what's left? There's a family in shambles. Right now, there's still an 11-year-old little boy who has not been found, and he is presumed dead. It's all for nothing. I don't understand it. I never will. Never will I understand it. Yes, Connie, she was wearing a bright yellow jumpsuit. Let me see if I can get a picture of her up here on the screen. It was bright yellow, like fluorescent yellow, or maybe like between a fluorescent yellow and a fluorescent green. It wasn't her turtle suit. Let's see if it uploaded. It did. So let me save it really quick. And we can put her up on the screen. So all right, I gotta see if yep, she's there. She's on the screen. There she is in court today. She looks a little bit more somber than what she has in recent pictures that we've seen of her. Aw, you're sweet, Becca. Yeah, her body language is interesting today, Tracy. She just, I don't know. I kind of wonder if she's medicated. I wonder if they're like sedating her because I've read things, I don't know if they're true, about violent outbursts inside jail. Again, I don't know if that's true. That's completely rumor. So, I mean, anything's possible. Is that what on her elbow? Oh, we can zoom in and see. I didn't even notice that. Good eye. Let's see what we can find here. What is that, guys? I don't think that's as far as it's going to zoom. What is that? It does look like she scraped her elbow up a little bit, huh? It's a scab for sure. I don't think it's stitches. Maybe that possibly happened in her scuffle where she attacked police officers. It's possible. That's possible. I would imagine that That's a good point, Manda. She did move. She did appear to try to hide behind her lawyer quite a bit. I don't know if that was just the specific video I watched, and it was just a camera angle. And who said, was it Darwin? You said you saw a bruise on her wrist as well? Yeah, bruise. Let's see. I don't know if I noticed the bruise. Are you saying like, oh, it won't let me go to her. Is that a bruise or a shadow? Hold on. Every time it does that. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a bruise or a shadow. I can't tell. Is it normal for defendants to have public defenders? Yes, it is very normal, especially when they do not have money to pay for a lawyer. That's a tattoo on her wrist right there. Huh. That's the only picture I uploaded, so I haven't looked at the rest. I know there was a bunch posted in our Facebook group. It's yeah, well, I mean, you can see those cuffs look tight, as they should be. Like Amy said, the lawyer was blocking the camera quite a bit. And then yeah, I don't think it's a tattoo either, Amanda. I think it's, if anything, it's probably bruising. But I mean, I don't have sympathy for who. We don't know what Gannon went through. Another thing, did you guys see the recent interview with the neighbor? I think it came out yesterday, where he spoke about when he reviewed his camera footage that, you know, Tisha basically came out in the Crime Online articles and everywhere else saying that those dates and times were wrong and that wasn't the day and blah, 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 blah. And he confirmed that it was 100% the day, and that when Gannon walked to the truck that morning, he could barely walk. That actually keeps me awake at night. I lay down to go to sleep and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's absolutely horrible. Which video, Kat? I'll play the audio of the DA speaking. We can listen to him. This was kind of last minute. I wasn't really like planning on coming on live, and I got quite a few requests, so I figured I'd come on and just do a quick recap. So I don't have any videos downloaded. I can play the audio of the DA speaking today. I have not seen a video with the neighbor. I have seen an article with the neighbor. I could have missed that, though. I've had a lot going on. But I will play Dan. Yeah, it's not Dan May. It's Michael Allen. You're correct, Glowing Ember. We can play his. Michael Allen is actually the assistant DA right now, and I believe he is. You were not charged, by the way. You think she's detoxing? Huh. That's interesting. I think anything's possible. Anything's possible. I don't think that we can really rule anything out, and I don't think that we can really say that anything is 100% at this point. It's going to be interesting to see what that probable cause affidavit says, for sure. Definitely want to see what's in there. Probable cause affidavits have a lot of info in them. It will give you basically a complete breakdown of what led up to her arrest. They are very detailed, very thorough. They hold a lot of factual and informative information, and it's going to be interesting. I will play, thank you for sending this to me, Raquel. I will play the Assistant DA Michael Allen's interview, just the audio of it, if that's okay with you guys, because I don't have the video downloaded, and if I do it another way, it'll just lag. So here we go.
Deputy District Attorney, just kind of fill us in on what happened. So today we filed formal charges against Letitia Stauch in the Gannon Stauch case. Count 1 is murder in the first degree, child under 12, position of trust. That count carries a potential life in prison without parole sentence. Count 2 is child abuse resulting in death. That is a class 2 felony. The sentencing range on that is 16 years to 48 years with 5 years of parole. The 2 other charges remaining are tampering with a deceased human body, which is a class 3 felony, and then tampering with physical evidence, which is a class 6 felony.
Can you talk about some of the big points in there today? Obviously, the probable cause was a big discussion.
Yeah, so the probable cause remains sealed, and this investigation is still under investigation and remains active. So the judge took up the issue of whether he was going to unseal the probable cause affidavit to release it to the public. He deferred on that decision and is probably going to issue a written ruling at some point, but I don't want to jump the gun and suggest something that he's maybe not prepared to do. But that's the status of the probable cause at this point.
And he asked if you would oppose that, and you said you're fine.
Right. So the purposes, I think I discussed it at the last setting, the purposes for sealing warrants is really to protect the sanctity of an investigation. We feel like we've got the person that we felt was responsible for the crimes. So our issues on the investigative side have expired. That's why we are unopposed or not taking a position on that motion.
They said there was 107 warrants in Colorado alone, and then there's more back in South Carolina. Is that correct?
That's the estimate that I gave, which is 107 warrants that we've had in this case. There were only a few in South Carolina. The vast majority were in our area here.
Can you say anything about what those are for? I mean, are we talking electronic? You mentioned video as well.
So I mentioned in the courtroom that there's lots of evidence in this case. I'm not going to get into specifics. I want to reiterate that I'm not going to try this case in the media, so I'm not going to be talking about the facts of the case. And again, the charges that we filed are merely allegations, and she is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's something that we take very seriously in our jurisdiction. It's what makes our criminal justice system the best in the world.
Michael, how does that position of trust count differ from a typical first-degree murder charge?
So the typical first-degree murder charge, class 1 first-degree murder, is with intent and after deliberation. The charge that we charged her with is a knowingly, so it changes the mental state required to prove that charge.
Can you explain the difference? Obviously, there is one.
Yes, so the typical classic first-degree murder charge that we all hear about is with intent and after deliberation. That typically means that somebody was thinking about committing murder and then went forward and did deliberate steps to commit the murder. In this case, it's a knowingly, so just that somebody knew what they were doing.
Can you talk about that number, 107 search warrants, and the volume, and how that speaks to the magnitude, or how big this case is? You talked about it over 5 weeks is what you had been working on. This speaks to the volume of this case.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to get into the facts, but I can talk about that for a little bit. This case did extend for a long period of time during the investigative phase. And as I said earlier, it's still ongoing. But with 5 weeks of really strong active investigation, it's generated a lot of evidence. Lots of reports, lots of digital evidence, that sort of thing. And I said that same sort of stuff in the courtroom.
What's the next step?
So the next step is a status hearing. That's on that next court date, and I'm forgetting what that date is right now off the top of my head. Yeah. And so basically that is just to give a status to the court where we are with discovery obligations. We have 21 days from today to get discovery out to defense, at least the vast majority of what we can get to them. So that's where we are now. We're trying to compile all that information and get it out to defense.
Why didn't the arrest affidavit get to the defense sooner?
Because it was under seal. So that seal order prevents me from giving it to anybody.
Was the hold up in getting them other discovery in this case? There was just no obligation until those 21 days are up to get them.
Yeah, so the discovery rules in Colorado say that we have to give them discovery within 21 days of filing of charges. So that clock starts today. And it's ongoing as the case progresses. We have an ongoing obligation to provide discovery, but that's where that comes from.
Will Letitia Stauch be at that status conference?
Yes, she'll be at every court hearing from this point forward.
Will those search warrants in South Carolina get released? Because I heard the judge say something about that they can't seal those.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
Can you say anything about next steps after the status conference?
So the next steps after the status conference will be, we will get a proof evident presumption great and a preliminary hearing scheduled. That will be the first time that we start actually presenting evidence in the courtroom about the investigation itself.
Are you expecting additional charges against Letecia for the alleged assault on the deputy during extradition?
So the that incident, really the questions for that incident would go to the sheriff's office. But I also think it's important to keep in mind that it allegedly occurred in Kansas, so the jurisdiction of charging would be in Kansas as well.
Is it too early to talk about potential plea?
Way too early. Yeah, I'm not thinking plea right now. I'm thinking trial.
Could this still be pretty hard to prosecute without a bond?
Okay, we're just gonna wrap it up there because he's basically said everything that's of value. In regards to the probable cause affidavit, it technically, I stated that incorrectly. It technically is still under seal. However, well, it's not under seal. The seal is going to expire. The defense is requesting it, and the prosecution did not object to releasing it. So I would expect to see it released. They mentioned redacting it. Somebody above also mentioned not dropping channel names. I appreciate that if you guys don't do that. Thank you. It's really just going to be a slow go from here on out, guys. It's going to be, hey, True Helper. It's going to require a lot of patience from all of us, a lot of patience from everybody who's following this case, because we may not get much information from those status hearings. We may not get much information from any pre-trials. It's all just, it all kind of depends. Yeah, she probably stole his meds. I don't know. I'm not sure. I am not sure. She's an interesting one, that's for sure. I can't, there's a lot of things I can't wrap my head around. I don't understand how anybody can do this to a child. I don't understand how somebody can lie the way that she did. And it's not often that I will make the conclusions that I made pretty early on, but when you see these lies in front of you and then you connect the dots, you can't ignore them either. So, yeah, like Amy is saying down there, law enforcement has stated that they believe Gannon is deceased. They do believe that Tisha is responsible for his murder. There are 4 charges against her, one being murder in the first degree of a child under the age of 12 and a person of trust. The other charge being child abuse resulting in death. The third charge being tampering with the human corpse. And the fourth charge being tampering with evidence. So, Vegan Goddess, I don't think so. I mean, maybe the look on her face in this one particular picture, but Megan appeared to have no personality whatsoever from the beginning. Tisha has been different. Her mugshots have looked different. I mean, she attacked cops, busted out of her handcuffs. She's an interesting person for sure. So I guess that is the most up-to-date recap. There's not really much else to talk about. Yeah, Tracy, unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. It's really sad. He needs to be found. he needs to be brought home and he needs to be laid to rest. His family needs some sort of closure. I cannot imagine being told that my 11-year-old child or any of my children were the victims of murder, let alone being told, we think we believe your child is dead, but we don't know where they are. So yeah, I'm with you, Raquel. So in order to charge her with the charges that they've brought against her, especially that first degree murder charge, I mean, all of them really, first degree murder of a child under the age of 12 and a person of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a corpse, those first 3 charges alone, they have to have proof to back those charges. Law enforcement, investigators, the FBI, everyone involved in this case, they can't just say, we think she did it, so here's a probable cause affidavit to arrest her. They have to have physical, solid evidence, probable cause to arrest her. Yeah, the DA did say they have strong evidence. I believe them. They said they have over 1,000 pages. And then there's video evidence and cell phone data. So that's a lot. That is a lot of evidence. A lot. Glowing Ember, I don't think we know if any of Chief's family was there. I don't really imagine that they would be because they're all in South Carolina, to my knowledge. So I don't really have anything else for you guys. I wish I did. I wish I could come on here and say that Gannon has been found or that, we have this evidence or we know this information. But right now we're kind of at a standstill, and that makes it hard. It really does. It is very hard to come to terms with, Raquel. It's very hard. Presumed dead, yes. And there are murder charges. So I know there's people out there that want to keep that hope alive that he is alive, but you have to look at the charges themselves. And if law enforcement in any way believed that Gannon was alive, Tisha would not be sitting where she is today with facing first degree murder charges. I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. Yeah, Judy, we're still looking into that. We're still looking into all of that. So still can't find a birth certificate on this girl. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yes, you're right, Love Shack. They couldn't get a judge to sign a first degree warrant without something substantial that supports he's dead and by her hand. Yeah. Well, with them saying that she's acted alone, I do think it's possible that somebody else acted, helped her, but in the same respect, you have a 36-year-old woman against an 11-year-old little boy. I don't think it would be hard for her to pull this off on her own. I think I don't know. I think the hardest part is for them is figuring out where she's put Gannon. That's the hardest part. The South Carolina warrants, we don't know what they are, just besides their search warrants. We don't know what type. And because it's a different state, they are not sealed like the state of Colorado. The state of Colorado has different legislation on that than the state of South Carolina does. Madame Deficit, speaking of no birth certificate, they said they will be redacting birth dates, etc. from Discovery. Is that typical? It is typical. They'll probably redact Al's birthday, Al's phone number, Landon's birthday, Landon's phone number. They will redact everybody involved besides Tisha. All the innocent parties involved. Just for the sake of preserving their privacy. So, yeah, Mignon, I think it's plausible that she acted alone. I don't know. There's so many unknowns in this case. It's a very interesting case. It makes it very, yeah, glowing number, they do miss spots. It makes it very very hard to figure out because there's a lot we don't know. We know a lot. How do I say this? There's more that we don't know than what we do know. What we know right now is very little. Besides taking into account all the things Tisha said herself. So, yeah, hers will be released. Hers is already public actually, because it's she's in the system, but I don't know. I think they need to do some investigating on that. I cannot for the life of me figure out why I can't find a birth certificate on this woman. It's weird. It's strange. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why. But so it's sad. I don't know, guys. I'm going to probably cut this off here and wrap it up at about 45 minutes because I don't want to just talk the talk. I love coming on here and talking to you guys. It's great to have you all here. There's just not really much to talk about. There's not. I believe her birth date on file is 8/3/83, something like that. Still have the mud on the house, RMT. What's that mean, Tracy? You lost me, but it's been a long day, so I'm sleepy. Mignon, what would happen to her daughter who took no part but knew? I don't know that we know that her daughter knows anything right now. Right now, I think it's only fair. Oh, the quad mud. Oh gosh. You guys, the mud. I've got it all cleaned up inside the house, but if you could only see my garage and my sidewalks, and my garage is attached to my house, so it just keeps getting tracked back in. But hey, a little dirt doesn't hurt, right? Someday they'll be grown up and I'll miss that mud. And I just remind myself that there are people out there who would give anything right now to have their boys running through their house with mud all over. So boys are wild, Tracy. They are wild. Aw, thank you, Mignon. You're sweet. So on that note, guys, I'm going to sign off. It was great talking to all of you. I'm sure I will be on this weekend. I don't know when, or unless something happens between now and whenever. If something... Sparta, we have a post in our group that has all her different names and birthdays. So something's not right. I mean, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's exhausting to try to figure it out, to be honest with you. It's exhausting because it just makes you want to beat your head against the wall. Why can't I find this? I have never in the history of doing what I do not been able to confirm somebody's identity or pull a birth certificate ever. So it's really crazy. I don't know what that means, but we will figure it out. I promise. Yeah, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm tired. So thank you guys all for hopping on here and chatting with me for a little bit. And going over the update today. Let's keep our fingers crossed that that probable cause affidavit is released. I think it will be, personally. That's an opinion, though. But I'm going to sign off of here. Show lots of love for Gannon down there. And if you pray, say some prayers that they find him. We are going on 7 weeks almost. Almost 7 weeks. I believe it will be on Monday. So, and to all of my mods down there, you guys are amazing. True Helper, Amanda, Amy, Mignon. I don't know who else is down there. I'm sorry if I missed you. I know the chat's moving pretty fast. Doodlebug, thank you. All of my mods, you guys are great. I appreciate you being here. And everybody in the chat, I appreciate you being here. So I'm sure I will talk to you guys this weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.